Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Back to tell you about the incredible achievements special needs students and special needs people can have and achieve if they just have the correct resources. And joining us here on the show, I'm joined by Stephanie Erickson, family caregiving expert, as well as Samuel Lewis, a Summit School student. Welcome to you both. It's great to have you here. So, you know, we use that term quite a bit, Stephanie, and when we hear the term special needs, what does that mean exactly?
It typically actually refers to an academic setting, and it really refers to the requirements that kids with particular diagnoses, intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, sometimes behavioral, emotional problems, fall within that need, and the school creates special programs for them.
Well, let's talk about the traditional schools. So what sort of programs do traditional schools create for special needs students?
Well, traditionally there's an evaluation, and then kids are given so many hours of whatever resource it might be: academic, speech therapy, behavioral counseling, or emotional support. But they're in a regular school, so they're mainstreamed with everybody, which can have its advantages.
Okay.
But for example, with Samuel, he was just telling us earlier, he only lasted a week in a school like that. It didn't work for him. So then you have specialized schools, like Summit School, which actually have all those resources on campus all the time, so children have unlimited access.
So Samuel, why did you only last a week? What wasn't available to you?
Well, they just thought that, you know, I wasn't, like, up to date with everything there, like, with all the other students there. They just didn't want me, you know. Like, they just thought, like, I was different from all of them, and, you know, yeah.
Tell us about your diagnosis.
Well, I was diagnosed when I was about 5 or 4 years old, and I'm diagnosed with non-specific autism, to be exact.
Okay.
It's a very mild case of autism. There.
So, you know, Summit School that Stephanie just mentioned, so what made them different? What made them sort of an environment that helped you achieve success?
Well, it was the kind of environment where they look at you for who you are. They don't care about what your challenges are and what you're good at or not good at there.
Right.
I mean, they focus more on what you're good at than what you're limited to, basically. And that's like what I've been approached to in Summit School, and it's been a very remarkable experience for me there.
Yeah, so there's a great example,
I know,
right?
I know.
So let's talk about, so what other benefit, what are students getting? What are the advantages that they have at Summit School?
Well, they have everything that all of us want for all of our kids, right? They have, you know, dramatic arts programs, which Samuel's very involved with. They have, of course, physical education, of course, academics, physiotherapists, social workers, etc. But what's remarkable is that children, particularly with special needs, have different ways of expressing themselves.
Right.
And a school like Summit School will take a child and say they really express themselves well through art. And then they really focus on that and helps the child communicate with the outside world in ways which they might not have been able to.
And great benefits to the students, obviously. There's no doubt about that, Stephanie. But let's talk about, you know, you being a family caregiving expert. What about the caregivers? What about the parents? What are the benefits that they are seeing from this?
Well, you're a dad too, right, Derek? So we all want our kids to have everything that they need to succeed in life. And I think in this particular area, we want our kids to be the most independent and self-sufficient adults that they can. And a place like Summit School will give them work-life skills as well, so they can entry into the workforce. So I think it's a sense of relief for a parent or a caregiver to know my kid's going to be okay. He or she will be fine out there in the world.
Stephanie mentioned drama, Samuel. Drama theater, something you became very passionate about. What attracted you to that?
Well, it's just the fact that I'm playing all these different characters, and you know, and it's just when I'm out on the stage, I can just let myself go, and I can just embrace my talent and express it, and yeah, I really love it there.
What other activities do you enjoy at the school?
What other activities? Well, like we do media there, where we get to make movies and everything. We write our own scripts, and we film it, and we get to act in it, and it's awesome. It's really awesome there. And yeah, there's so many other activities as well too.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun time.
Stephanie, I mean, Samuel's fortunate to be in this particular school, but are there enough of them out there? Are there enough resources out there for special needs?
Yeah, Derek, don't get me started. There's never enough resources in this area of social work type needs, psychosocial needs. We never have enough.
So what do we do? So what's the challenge? How do we get more of those resources?
Well, I think some people can lobby within their governments to have our funds reallocated into the places where they're needed. Certainly, at least with Summit School, there's some great parents that are doing a fundraiser, which is also one of the things we're talking about here, to bring support and stuff to the school. But I think it's important for us to try and work with the government to redirect funds, reallocate funds to programs like this.
You mentioned, obviously, fundraising is a big thing. You have a golf tournament coming up, right, with Summit School.
Exactly. It's on June 11th. It's called the Summit School Formula Golf Challenge. It's out at St. Raphael Golf Club, and you can find out about it on the Facebook page.
Terrific. Guys, thanks so much for joining
Derek.
us. Really appreciate it. Samuel, pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming on the show this
Derek.
morning. Hey, don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, we've got your news headlines and your look at weather and traffic right here on BT.